stage. Let me see. I'm sorry, I'm new to this. Usually Turf takes care of all this stuff, and it looks like all I'm showing right now is the banners. So let me see if I can get in here. And let me see if I can see what's going on here. Let's see here. We got yeah, it's still got me in here. I don't know how to get myself up here. Oh, there we go. Much better. All right. Sorry about that. I got this thing pretty tight on me, but let's see what we got. Get back to here. Yeah, it's weird. I'm not seeing the chat come through though. But shout out to the folks in the chat. If anybody's got any questions, again, feel free to post them. Now that I've got myself on screen finally. I promise, Terrence, we'll be back. We won't be without turf too much longer. So shout out to everyone that's watching right now. I see some people watching. Feel free to post your comments, questions. We got this game back. Oh, look at that. OKC came back. 2-point lead for the Thunder over the Nuggets. So let's get into it right now. Let's talk about the schedule. So I know, without seeing how everything was breaking down week to week, I was thinking that we were going to have a pretty good season. I was thinking, I think last time we talked about this, I had a floor of like 7 wins and a ceiling of like 12 or 13. The team looks pretty solid on paper right now for the Patriots, and I'll let Turf talk about the Raiders when we get back together again. But both teams look like they had pretty solid off seasons and pretty solid drafts. So this is going to be interesting to see how this works out when we get into this week 1 matchup. But to me, it's all going to come down to how things uh, pan out in the next couple months. This is where everything gets put together, right? We have Josh McDaniels installing an offense. We don't even have a defensive coordinator yet. He's apparently got health problems. Um, so Vrabel's been covering defense for him, but we'll have basically an entirely new coaching staff. I think the only one that stayed was the special teams coach. So we've got an install going on right now for offense. We got rookies in the building. We've got OTAs coming up. We got preseason. Um, and I think now that we know week by week matchups, I'm going to run through them real quick, and we can see what we think about this. See if I can bring this Patriots schedule up. See if we can get a nice. See if we can get a nice image. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to we'll see if this works. We'll see if this works. All right. I think I've got this up. Let me see if I can okay. So now I think the schedule's up. So we'll go through this. The Raiders, right? We got week 2 against the Dolphins. So obviously the red games are away. The blue is home. So we got the Steelers at home in week 3. We got the Panthers in week 4 at home. Then we're on the road for the Bills, Saints, Titans. It's not a terrible road stretch if I'm going to be honest. Then we got week 8. Who is this? That's a good one. They give you a helmet with basically no detail. Let's see what that looks like. That is October 26th. Oh, the Browns, of course. So we got the Browns on the 26th, the Falcons at home on the 2nd. We got the Bucks on the road, the Jets at home on the 13th. See, this is going to be a problem. We got the Bengals late, and we got them on the road. The Giants at home coming into our bye. I like that. A week 14 bye, that's a great spot for us. And then finishing out the season, we got the Bills at home, the Ravens on the road, the Jets on the road, and then the Dolphins. I'm not exactly sure what TBD means, but that's fine. That's fine. I'm pretty happy playing the Dolphins at home in week 18. Bring it on. Hopefully that TBD doesn't mean they're going to send us to like Mexico City or some nonsense like that. But if I'm running through this, and I think the Raiders, I think we should be able to beat them week 1. But I mean, obviously that's an early season thing. Like we'll see who Vrabel or Pete Carroll, like which coach does a better job of getting their roster together. Like I'm going to be perfectly honest. Like first 3 weeks are probably wild cards to me. There's so much new this season, and for that matter, the same holds true for the Raiders. They're going through the same kind of pain. right now. They've got an install going on themselves. Um, but we'll see. I think usually your defense shows up before your offense does. So I would expect our defense to be solid this year, like really solid. Dolphins on the road. This is always going to give us problems. The Dolphins always give us problems, um, especially this time of the year in Florida. I'm not super confident in that, so I'm going to say win, loss, Steelers. I just don't have any faith that the Steelers are any good. They're like a 500 team. Um, so I'm going to say win. I think our defense is better than theirs, and their offense. We'll see. We'll see what that looks like. So that's 2-1. Let's say that's a win against the Panthers. 3-1. Bills on the road. Let's call that a loss. 3-2. The Saints. The Saints should be a dumpster fire this year. So that doesn't matter that it's on the road. 4-2. Titans. I think everybody knows I'm not a Cam Ward fan. And I I think they had a pretty solid defense. Unfortunately for them, like a bunch of them are now on the Patriots. So I think we should be able to handle them, even though it's on the road. But yeah, yeah, we're gonna be able to take them. I think so. That's a win. We got the Browns on the 26th at home, and I don't know who their quarterback is. Um, at this point in the season, what do we got? 3, 6, 7. This is week 8, so maybe Shador's the quarterback by now. Week 8, maybe it's Dylan Gabriel. Who knows? They're I don't know what they're doing, but they should be a pretty tough team. The Browns always seem to be a good defense with a questionable offense. So I'd expect this low scoring game, but I'm going to give us the benefit of the doubt since we're at home and say that's going to be a win. We got the Falcons. That's probably going to be a win. Uh, they've got a decent defense too, but I'm not a believer in that team at all. I Bijan's good. And Kyle Pitts is highly overrated, and um, we'll see. We'll see what Penix looks like. I do think he was one of the better prospects in the last draft, um, but we'll see what he really looks like now with an extended sample. The Buccaneers, I'm going to say, is a loss on the road. I don't see us taking down the Bucks, but you never know. With they lost their GM, they lost their offensive coordinator, so we'll see. But I'm gonna right now pencil it in for a loss. The Jets at home. I think I've said this before. I always kind of take the AFC East matchups as being splits, so I'm going to say we take the Jets at home. The Bengals on the road. That's too late, and that's like right at Thanksgiving. Um, yeah, I'm even if our defense is good, Burrow is he's either 1 or 2 in the league. So I this late in the year, like Burrow's going to have his stuff figured out. Um, Definitely didn't want to see this game this late in the season. I was hoping for a first like 3 or 4 weeks of the season kind of matchup on the road with him. Uh, Week 12, I'm going to say that's a Bengals win. Giants win. Giants are a win. Still have no quarterback. And that gets us rolling into the bye. And then we get the Bills at home. So here's the split. And let's say we're going to take the Bills, like coming out of a bye. we should be ready for the Bills at home. I'm going to say the Ravens are a loss on the road right before Christmas, and then the Jets right after the Christmas break on the road. Second to last game of the year. Uh, Again, like I had us with a win on the 13th, so I'm going to call it a loss on the 28th just to be consistent. Then the Dolphins win to close the year. Dolphins Tua playing in cold weather to end the season, assuming that this is a home game and it's not some jacked up game somewhere in a neutral field. Assuming that they have to come up and play us in New England, the Dolphins are going to get stomped. So there you have it. That's our preview of the 2025 NFL New England Patriots roster schedule for the season. I don't know how close I'm going to be on this, but I feel pretty good about it so far. We'll see how preseason. I think we'll really start to get a look at how the drafts change some of these teams in the preseason. We'll see what things start to look like, especially teams that have turned over coaches. Like the Jets, I'm kind of curious about. I want to see what they look like. Aaron Glenn's a former Jet himself, and I think as far as new head coaches go, I actually have a pretty good feeling about Aaron Glenn, which is bizarre for the Jets because they usually mess it up. The Titans, I don't think Callahan is a good coach, and I think he's probably going to get fired after this year. I think Cam Ward was. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong about Cam Ward. It's just something doesn't sit right with me about him. He feels like fool's gold to me. But we'll see. We'll see. He was the number one pick, so we'll I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll see how he turns out. The Saints, I don't get it. I don't get this Shuck kid, but I'm gonna be honest. Like one of the NFL minds that I trust the most when it comes to evaluating players is Greg Cosell, and Greg Cosell loves this kid. He loves this kid. He thinks he was like the most NFL ready quarterback coming out of this draft, which I think was insane because I saw his combine. And I mean, he literally looked like he was going to trip over his own feet more than once. But his film didn't look super clean, but it didn't look terrible either. So I don't know. I mean, Greg Cosell clearly saw something in him. He wrote a very glowing write-up on him. And if you're interested about it, he has a draft guide that you can go look at that breaks down like almost all of the major players coming out of college this year. It's usually a must-have, especially if you're playing fantasy football and you want to know for dynasty or whatever who these guys are coming out and who you should try and go after. It's value play. Most of the guys at the top of the draft are, chalk, but sometimes you can grab a diamond in the rough in late rounds. And I'm going to be honest, like Cosell's nailed it a couple times. As far as new coaches everywhere else, obviously the Raiders have Pete Carroll. That goes without saying. He's a fantastic coach. So there's no real doubt in my mind that the Raiders are going to be good again. Might, just like us, it might take a couple of years, but they're definitely on the right track. And obviously the Giants. The Giants. I don't know what to tell you guys. I know you New York fans have been dying for the Giants to be relevant. since Eli retired, right? And I don't think Jackson Dart's the answer for you, but at least you do have enough in the way of veteran leadership on that team that you might actually be able to get by with it. Maybe Jackson Dart doesn't have to play that much this year, right? You might have Russell Wilson year, maybe Jameis Winston taking over a little down the line. I don't know. But I think if they go to Dart in week 1, I hope they don't. But if they do, it's gonna be a long season for you guys. Abdul Carter asking for Lawrence Taylor's number is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Like, I personally, I was shocked when Cam Ward asked for Warren Moon's number. It's like, I some of the stuff I don't understand. Like, Warren Moon is, to me, one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. And I mean, I know he didn't spend a ton of time, wasted a lot of years in the CFL and dealt with some stuff racially that he shouldn't have had to deal with, because he's a fantastic quarterback. But I mean, his career was shortened a little bit as a result of that stuff. And let's get back here. All right. He didn't deserve to, he was very gracious, obviously, and allowed them to unretire his number so that Cam Ward can wear it. It's like, I don't know what that's all about, but I mean, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, it's to me, 88 should be retired for the Cowboys. Like, Michael Irvin is the only person that should be wearing 88, but I guess it's kind of like a badge of honor, right? He's passed it down to several receivers since he retired. So we'll see. We'll be looking at this preseason very carefully. I know Travion Henderson missed the first day of rookie camp, which allowed my boy Lane Larson to get the full complement of reps. And apparently he looked the part in day 1. So watch out. I've already started to hear rumors that rumblings that Lane Larson might be sneaking onto that roster. But I'll be very, very interested to see what the backfield looks like when we get to the preseason. Speaking of that, actually, let's see what do we got for preseason games here. We have got we opened the preseason with the Washington Commanders on August the 8th, and then the Vikings on the 16th, rolling into the Giants on the 21st. Not too bad. Not too bad. I think the Commanders are going to be a real problem this year. And I'll be very interested to see what the Vikings look like. Obviously, they decided to move on. And I can only assume that means that we're going to get to see the Michigan Phenom this year. We'll see what he looks like. Moving back into the NBA, we have score update. We do not. Nope, they just went to commercial again. Let me see if I can get the NBA score up. We've got a tied game, 58-58 at the half. They just went to half. Or Oh, 61-58 at the half. They hit a three. So this game is a closeout game for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think the Nuggets are going to go away in this game. They're going to play it close and they're going to try and take it at the end. So I think we might be heading for game seven here and hopefully a game seven with the Celtics. So if anybody has some questions, throw them up in the chat. I'm going to go see if I can see anything. That's wild. All right, I'm not seeing the chat come through in on here, but I'm seeing it directly on YouTube. So I will answer you guys directly off of YouTube. So Tristan Vanini says, I feel like the Patriots can make the playoffs this year, but I don't know. I agree. I agree. Like I'm just gonna say hopeful, optimistically cautious. Let's see. Let's see how they look in the preseason. We'll kind of go from there. But I do agree. My feeling is 10 or 11 wins, but obviously we're gonna have to see how everything looks. Apparently, I look like Mark Ruffalo. Uh, would be great. Take that paycheck. If anybody's got questions, I can see them in here now. So please feel free, throw them on the chat, and we'll talk about them. As far as this game is going, I'll let you know when they come out of the half. Right now, we just got talk. We're gonna look at. Let's see. We'll take a look at some of the other. Let's go week by week actually with the schedule for the NFL. We'll see what that looks like. See if we can pick out some juicy matchups to look forward to. Let's see. Okay, so week one, we're opening with the Cowboys and the Eagles. That should be actually pretty interesting matchup. Defending champs going against the new look Cowboys. Thursday night game, 7:20. You have to let me know what you guys think about that game in the chat. Like, what do you think? Do you think the Cowboys are going to win that, or is that going to be an easy Eagles victory? Friday, we're getting our first taste of the Chiefs opening up against the Chargers. Now, the Chargers, there's somebody that I'm very interested to see what they look like. Yeah, Turf and I have been in agreement that Omari and Hampton is going to be a beast. And I want to see what this team looks like because they should be tough. I'm not going to lie. Their their offense looks better. Their defense looks better. Obviously the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They got Patrick Mahomes, so and Chris Jones. So we're gonna get ourselves a good game on Friday. Rolling into the Sunday games, we got the Bucks, the Falcons, the Bengals, and the Browns. Don't care. Dolphins, Colts, nope. Carolina, Giants. God. And then we got the Raiders and the Patriots. Obviously, folks on this show care about this game greatly. I don't know how much run this is going to get outside of New England and Las Vegas, but we shall see. Hopefully, these two teams are good storylines for the season. Cardinals and Saints. Yeesh. Steelers and Jets. Yeah, maybe I could watch it just to see what it looks like. Giants and Commanders. Yes, I don't. I mean, the Commanders are going to be really good this year. Jaden Daniels here too. He should be a problem for the league. The Giants. Yeah, I don't think they're going to put up much fight. Titans and Broncos. Now, the Broncos had a pretty decent draft, pretty good offseason to boot. This new look Titans team, I don't expect this to be a pleasant experience for them. Broncos, I think probably, I don't know what the line's going to be on that game, but whatever it is, I'd probably take the points. The Broncos are probably going to destroy them. Seahawks and 49ers. That should be a pretty interesting game. New look 49ers, new look Seahawks. We'll see. It's in Seattle too, so that's an interesting way for the NFC West to open up. And we got the Lions taking on the Packers. That should be fun. It's like the Packers just keep drafting wide receivers, man. I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to have like a whole team full of receivers. We got the Rams and the Texans. That's a good one. These late matchups are fantastic. Then we got Sunday Night Football, Ravens versus the Bills at the Bills. Give me a break. I mean, this is some heavy hitters for week 1. And then you finish off Monday Night Football, the Vikings and the Bears. Wow. Getting right into it. Division matchup to open the season in Chicago. All right. We'll see what this looks like. That's the way you start the season. That's week 1 for you folks. Let's go through this real quick. I'm going to kind of jump through these weeks and just pick out games that look like they're going to be interesting. Second week of the season, scrolling, I'm seeing not a ton. Oh, we got the rematch. Eagles at the Chiefs, 3:25 late game in week 2. That should be fun. And then we got the doubleheader on Monday Night Football. Bucks and Texans and Chargers and Raiders. There you go, Raider Nation. Let's see what you got. Harbaugh versus Carroll. That one should be fun. Oh, and then Thursday Night Football. That's actually a decent matchup too. We got Commanders and Packers. Outstanding. I hope the Thursday night matchups are good. Like, I feel like we had a pretty poor showing last year, Thursday night games. So I hope they're much better this year than they were. And then you get the Dolphins at the Bills in week 3. Week 3, Tua should still be healthy. The Buffalo weather is probably not terrible yet, September 18th. So it should be a good game. Should be a good game. What other notable matchups we got from week 3? We got the Rams and the Eagles. That should be fun. Raiders at Commanders. That should be interesting. We'll see. We'll see what Ashton Genty looks like for the Raiders. Broncos and Chargers, and then Monday Night Football matchup: Lions and Ravens. Another banger. Lions and Ravens. That should be a good one. Week 4. Let's see. Notable matchups. Week 4. We got nobody so far. Eagles Buccaneers at 12 o'clock. Oh, Ravens at Chiefs, 325. That should be a fun one. Packers at Cowboys. Sunday Night Football. And then Bengals at Broncos on Monday Night Football. I don't know if the Bengals are going to be good at this point. I mean, we all know Joe Burrow never really starts the season on fire. He usually comes out sluggish. And I feel like it's right around here, week 4, week 5, where he kind of gets on track. But yeah, I mean, this might be kind of him just getting back in the flow at this point, playing that crazy Broncos defense. So that'll be one to watch anyway. I don't know if it's going to be a game of the week kind of thing, but then we got week 5. We got 49ers and Rams, and that's on Thursday night. And then we got Texans at Ravens. I'll tell you what, like going week to week, it looks like the Ravens got a crazy tough schedule. Let's see marquee matchups from this week. Oh, Lions at the Bengals. That one should be fireworks. Commanders at Chargers, and then the Chiefs. Chiefs and Jags on Monday night. We'll see if the Jags are better this year. I still believe Trevor Lawrence is not a bad quarterback, but he hasn't really been very consistent in the NFL. So we'll see. But Chiefs at Jags. Moving on, week 6. Try and get through this stuff pretty quickly. We got, let's look, Rams at Ravens. Another tough matchup for the Ravens. We've got 49ers at Bucks. We've got Bengals at Packers. The Bengals also have a tough schedule. It seems like every week I'm looking at some playoff team from last year that they're playing. Lions playing the Chiefs in Arrowhead, Sunday Night Football. That's going to be a good game. Oh, then your Monday night games look like they're Bills and Falcons and Bears and Commanders. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that actually is interesting at all. Running through week 7, we got nothing really jumps out so far. Jeez. Commanders and Cowboys. And then we've got Bucks and Lions on Monday night. That's pretty much it for week 7. Week 8. Week 8 looks like Sheesh. 49ers at Texans. We've got the and we've got the Commanders at the Chiefs on Monday night. I don't are the Chiefs on Monday night like every week? Seems like I've seen them there a couple times now. I suppose Patrick Mahomes is the big draw, so Mm-mm. Week 9, moving on. Last game of October. Ravens at Dolphins. That's dangerous just because you're going down to Miami to play that game. But the Ravens should be able to take that one. They look like a scary, scary team. Uh, let's see here. What else we got? Anything of consequence beyond that game? Ooh, Chiefs at Bills. 325 afternoon matchup. That should be fun. That should be fun. Week moving on to week 10. Let's see what we got in here. Well, what gifts does the NFL have for us in week 10? Got the Rams and the 49ers, 325. We got the Lions at the Commanders, 325. Then we got the Eagles and the Packers on Monday Night Football. Wow. That is going to be a good game. Moving on to week 11. Jeez. Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos, 325 on Sunday. Then we got the Lions at the Eagles on Sunday night. And then you got Cowboys and Raiders on Monday Night Football. Speaking of the Raiders, did anybody see the John Madden movie that's going to be coming out with Nicolas Cage playing John Madden? It's kind of wild. It looks like he put on some weight for the role too, but Christian Bale also going to be starring in that movie playing Al Davis. I thought that was kind of interesting. So we'll be interested to see what that is. It's John Madden's an icon. Week 12. Get through. Oh, Thursday Night Football. We got Bills and Texans. I feel like we've had a few weeks in between, some soft Thursday Night Football weeks, but getting back to business here. Bills at Texans. That's going to be a good one. Patriots and Bengals. That's probably going to be a Bengals win, but it's interesting for me. What else we got here? Eagles at the Cowboys. So that's a star appeal. We'll see what the Cowboys look like this year. They're like a wild card if I've ever seen one. Like, fire your head coach after winning like 3 years of 13 wins or something. It's crazy. So we'll see what the Cowboys look like this year. Then we got Sunday Night Football's got the Bucks at the Rams. And then how did the Panthers get a Monday night game? That seems really bizarre. Panthers at 49ers. Sounds like light work for the 49ers, but we'll see. Week 13. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. That is fun. Thanksgiving games, Packers at Lions, Chiefs at Cowboys, and Bengals at Ravens. Wow. I mean, that is good. That is a great a great Thanksgiving Day worth of football right there. And then we got more treats on Friday. We got the Bears at the Eagles. Then coming into the weekend, we got anything marquee in here? Looks like they fired all their bullets on Thanksgiving. We got Sunday Night Football is going to have the Broncos at the Commanders. And then the Patriots snuck on to Monday Night Football at home against the Giants. I don't know who's going to want to watch that game. Outside of New York and Boston, but we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully that's a win for the Patriots. Let's see. Moving on, Week 14. Cowboys and Lions. That should be interesting. Moving down the line. I don't know how we feel. How do we feel about the Bears this year? Do we feel like they're going to be like a playoff team? Are they going to win 10 games? I I don't think that they're going to make the playoffs personally, but tell me if you disagree. Let's see. Any other? Oh, there's the Broncos and Raiders. This, I feel like week 14, we're going to kind of know what the Raiders are at this point. We'll know what the Broncos are. This could be a good like measuring stick for the Raiders. That should be a marquee matchup for them to take you know, they usually play the Broncos pretty tough. So we'll see what this looks like. It's later in the year, it's at home. That could be an interesting one. And then other late games, we got Bengals and Bills. That should be fun. At Buffalo. Shoot, that could be getting into some nasty weather at that point in the year. And then Sunday Night Football, we get Texans at the Chiefs in Arrowhead. Monday Night Football, Eagles and Chargers. I'm very interested to see what these teams look like this year. Eagles had some turnover. Chargers had some turnover. We're going to see. It's two teams I expect to be very, very good. Week 15. See, that kind of feels not great. That Thursday game, the Falcons were at the Bucks. Nice. Yeah, those South matchups are usually pretty good. Division opponents usually don't get like blown out, but we'll see. I don't love the Thursday schedule so far. Um, looks like it's pretty solid to start the year, so enjoy that. And we got afternoon games. We got Ravens at Bengals. We got Chargers at Chiefs. Bills at the Patriots. Ooh, Raiders at the Eagles. This ought to be interesting. This we'll see. We'll see how Pete Carroll did with restocking that defense. And then late games on, we got the Packers at the Broncos. You got the Lions at the Rams. That's pretty much it as far as good matchups go that week. Moving to week 16. Oh, yeah, this is a couple days before Christmas. Patriots going the Ravens. I don't think that's going to go well. Let's see. Big matchups in here. God, whoa. Raiders at Texans. That should be interesting. Uh, Packers and Bears will be fun because it's a division matchup. And Eagles and Commanders, same division matchup. Those two teams usually beat each other up pretty good. Let's see what else. Moving to the last 2 weeks of the year, the football season. We got week 17. We've got 3 games on Christmas this year. Cowboys at Commanders, Lions at Vikings, and Broncos at Chiefs. Wow. That's pretty impressive. Then the Sunday games, we shift over. Let's see. Oh, we got Eagles at Bills, 325 on Sunday. And then Sunday night football is Bears and 49ers. So clearly the NFL is putting the Bears in a lot of high profile games this year. So they must believe. The Monday game here has got Rams at Falcons. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not really sure what this thing's all about. They got 5 games not scheduled. Why? I don't know. There's 5 games that haven't been scheduled in week 17 right now. Those must be flex games, perhaps. We'll see how that shakes out. But week 18 is totally up in the air. That's interesting. I don't remember this last year, but maybe they've been doing this since they expanded the schedule. This last week is just flexed for now. But that's the Dolphins at Patriots. Any other marquee? Oh, Chiefs at Raiders. We got Chargers at Broncos, Lions at Bears. Oh, Ravens and Steelers. If the Steelers are any good this year, Commanders at Eagles. If the Steelers are any good this year, well, that could be an interesting game because the AFC North is usually always a bloodbath. And that is it. That wraps up NFL schedule 2025. Again, if you guys got disconnect, you guys got any questions, throw them out there. Happy to answer them. Go Birds. We are into the third quarter, by the way. Thunder and Nuggets still tight. Nuggets got a 1 point lead with just under 6 minutes left in the third. This one's going to come right down to it. All right, so let's talk about what do we have? We have the Patriots. We went through the schedule. NFL went through the schedule. We talked about Jayson Tatum's injury. Talked about the Celtics and their prospects for the rest of the series. Red Sox, I'm not going to really get into right now. they're in the middle of the season and they're not doing great. We can we can hold off on talking baseball for a little while. Um, Although I do think it's worth mentioning that the lifetime ban on Shoeless Joe Jackson and Pete Rose got lifted. So from an MLB perspective, I think that is finally. I think Pete Rose should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago. I know he's not the best guy in the world, and gambling on the sport is not great, not great. But I still think accomplishment wise, it's kind of a shame that the hit leader for Major League Baseball is not in the Hall of Fame. Um, and to be honest, I feel the same way about Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens. Like those those guys belong in the Hall of Fame. It's I've said this before, but you know the whole narrative about the steroid era is to me is insane because that period of baseball, those great home run chases, they saved baseball. Um, and yeah, maybe the MLB turned a blind eye to performance enhancing drugs for you know 5, 7, 8 years. I don't know. They were complicit in that, and if it wasn't for the Balco case, there would never have been this blowback in the media and in social about that era in baseball. Um, Nobody would be talking, poorly about guys like Mark McGwire and Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa. They, you know, we got to remember at the same time that all this stuff was going on, you had like um, pitchers like Roy Halladay and Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling, Pedro Martinez. Like, I mean, putting up ungodly numbers. Like, I mean, steroids or not, you still got to hit the pitch. And those guys had some of the most amazing pitching seasons that I've ever seen in my life in the middle of the steroid era. So I mean, I don't know how many kids from today had a chance to see or have ever seen highlights of those guys pitch, but I'd encourage them to go look them up because they're absolutely filthy. Randy Johnson, you can Google it. Pretty sure it'll still come up on YouTube if you search it. He absolutely destroyed a bird that flew in front of one of his pitches. I mean, the bird just like disintegrated. You see the thing, just all the fly, feathers go everywhere. One of the most insane things I've ever seen. The Pedro Martinez Red Sox Yankee games from the playoffs and whatnot. A lot of that stuff is famous. Him throwing, Don Zimmer as he charged the mound, and the him and Clemens trading, bean balls turns into an all out brawl. Some of those matchups and some of the moments from the 90s and early 2000s are some of the most memorable baseball from the last 30, 40 years. So to not honor those guys is, to me, it's nearly criminal, right? It's like the still Barry Bonds to this day. He's kind of a douchey guy. But he was never on my team, but he was so impressive to watch. Fantastic player. And I feel the same way about Pete Rose. I mean, if you ever see footage of Pete Rose at bats, I mean, he hit with a toothpick. I mean, his bat was so skinny. All in the era of all these guys doing torpedo bats, and he was hitting with a little toothpick, and he was fantastic. I mean, just absolutely dominating for a very long time. And you know, Shoeless Joe Jackson's a little bit before my time, but you know, from what I have read about him, he was a fantastic player too. He's that might be the most infamous of all of the black balls that were going on. Like Shoeless Joe Jackson, they threw a World Series supposedly, um, and he was kind of the face of it. So I can understand why there was a lot of blowback on him. But at some point, you got to recognize the players for what they meant to the game, not the mistakes they made. And those two had pretty substantial accomplishments. So to completely um, strip them of the recognition is seems like a little carried away for a lifetime. I think they've probably both been penalized for long enough. And if you want to put them in there with an asterisk, that's fine. But I think they should both probably go in at some point in the future, as well as the steroid guys. I won't apologize for any of them. Like Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. It's not a question. He's the home run leader, probably the greatest hitter of the last 50 years. He should definitely be in. The Roger Clemens is crazy that he's not in either. So just put these guys in, honor them, and stop messing around. Like I can't wait for all the old voters to go and turn it over to younger generation. Hopefully they can be more objective about it and not hold a grudge. But that is, let me see here. I must be doing something wrong with the chat. I don't know how this chat doesn't show up. Yeah. John B, nothing better than Sosa McGuire in the summer of 98. Yeah. Yeah. It's still memorable to me was the All-Star game at Fenway Park in Boston. And Mark McGuire hit a ball in that home run derby that I think went onto the highway. I mean, it was gone. So amazing. So amazing. But that's I think that's all I got for tonight. We've got, let's see, let's check in on the Nuggets and the Thunder. We got ooh, still a 2-point lead. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Nuggets are up 80-78. That is unbelievable. This game is going to come right down to the wire. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to go watch this game, see how this thing ends up. And I'm going to get out of here. So until next time, hopefully we got turf back pretty soon. But until next time, hook 'em.